one of the biggest things that you can provide to help stand out is being flexible.
You're listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, the place to learn about new technology and technological advances before they become mainstream. This podcast is sponsored by DLink Technology. Make your home smarter, safer, and truly seamless. Let's get into it.
Welcome to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. I'm your host, Carrie Roberts, and our guest today is Matt Vaillancourt, the Senior Director of Business Sales at DLink. Now, Matt, you were our guest on episode 1 of the show and provided so much insight on data security and digital hygiene, which listeners, if you haven't checked that out, I would highly recommend it to go back to episode 1. So welcome back, Matt. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thanks for having me on again, guys. I'm super excited to dive into another facet of the wonderful world of technology.
So on this episode, we are chatting about life in the cloud. Matt, cloud architectures are evolving and serving many different needs and purposes. Can you explain a little bit about how they're evolving and why the right cloud solution is critical to success?
Yeah, absolutely. So last time I was on to kind of touched on this a little bit from a security standpoint. So I'll just kind of grace it again really quick from the cloud standpoint. And that is there are different types of cloud infrastructures out there today. There's public clouds, there's private clouds, there's hybrid clouds, there's converged clouds. There's so many different options as far as a cloud solution or architecture is concerned. And, you know, it's really evolving based off of what the end customer's ultimate goal and ultimate needs are. So we've seen people start to really start to mix and match. And I think what I'm seeing more of in today's market is that hybrid cloud. So, you know, your private cloud is something where you as either the MSP or the VAR, you own the infrastructure, you own the pipe, you own everything, right? So it makes it a lot easier for you to secure it, but it also puts a lot of infrastructure and heavy lifting on you. Public ones are ones that are based, that are hosted by like AWS or Google or one of these other cloud platforms. And they're super easy to use. They're super easy to spin up, but you're relying on that third party to keep your uptime up there and keep everything secure and all that other fun stuff. Of which I will say, you know, the big guys, Amazon, Google, guys like that, they do a great job of securing those networks and having failovers and redundancies to make sure that you have the uptime that you need and want. But the hybrid one, which I think is probably most popular and currently ever evolving, you know, is where there's some things, there's some on-premise infrastructure. Maybe customers are choosing to store mission critical data and things along those lines on site with a disaster recovery cloud backup type of solution, or they're using the cloud as kind of their portal or their window for customers to come in and consume and use the platform. But the core of the data of the platform itself is privately held on a private cloud, right? So I think that's the most prevalent one that we're seeing today on larger deployments where security is a concern, but the public cloud is definitely rapidly catching up in that aspect too.
Now, the as-a-service model is talked about quite often, and for many, MSPs are replacing VARs. The question is, how do you know if you should make the move to an MSP?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the MSP or VAR to MSP kind of transformation that a lot of people are looking at today is really about cost effectiveness and savings. So everyone's looking to offer the as a service stuff these days to retain customers, provide additional value. But what I think a lot of people overlook in when you're making this decision, if you want to make this transformation, is the potential cost savings that it can represent to your company. There's no doubt that truck rolls cost money. So if you can remotely diagnose a problem with, say, someone's network or their wireless or their camera system or whatever, AV system, whatever it might be that they're using, you could potentially save yourself even having to send a truck to the customer's location or, best worst case scenario, you're able to completely diagnose what the problem is with the network. And if you do have to physically send someone there, the diagnosis work's already been done. So rather than paying someone who's to be on site to diagnose and figure out what's going on with the network or whatever service it is that you're trying to repair or keep up, you're already going to know what the problem is. You're already going to have to be able to load equipment onto your truck that you feel is going to be your best couple of options to fixing the problem. And it's going to reduce the amount of time that you have to actually spend on site to fix the customer's issues. So, we're really seeing people move to this, whether they know they're moving to an MSP style model or not. They're seeing the savings, and more importantly, their end customers are seeing tremendous value, because if you don't have to send a truck out, they're obviously not paying as much for the actual service of the network and things along those lines. And it can rapidly decrease the amount of downtime that they would potentially have, because you're able to immediately go in and look. And, if somebody calls you at 2 a.m., no problem. Let me log into your, into our portal here and see what's going on with your systems. And, then you can determine if it's worthwhile maybe to send a truck out in the morning, or just, wait and send it and schedule them in if it's not mission critical. So there's so many more options that the cloud is providing to people today in the market space.
Yes, and saving time and money, everybody loves that, but change is hard. And a lot of people, whenever they have to do something new, it's like, oh, what do I have to do? How long is this process going to take? How much do I need to learn? Can you break down for us in maybe a few steps, if a business is interested, how they can kind of transition to an MSP model, including how to automate and deploy remotely?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for people who are looking to transition into this space, really sitting down and taking a hard look at your core business and understanding what you're looking to accomplish by doing this is going to be critical to being successful. So I would put that as step one is identifying and focusing on a particular market. Most likely it's a market that you're already in, that you're just looking to simplify and make the service practice a lot easier for yourself. And while I will say in focusing on a market, I don't mean focus on like one particular market, right? There are always adjacent markets to whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish. So I'll use an example here that I've used before, and that's Crocs, right? Crocs, the shoes that either you love or you hate. But regardless of your feelings on them, they're one product that they kind of focus on, but there are a lot of accessories and other things that go along with the Croc footwear. There's, they now have inserts, like slipper inserts that you could put into them. They have customization of the pins and stuff like that go onto the Crocs as well. So instead of just focusing on, well, I sell Crocs and that's all I do is I sell Crocs, and you didn't identify the adjacent markets that go along with it, which would be, maybe these slipper inserts or these pins or different variations of the Crocs themselves. They have slippers and other different variations out now as well. So making sure that when you are looking at this, you're taking into account everything that surrounds your solution is going to be critical too, because you're going to need to be able to support that. That's going to be your customer's next question. From there, I would say definitely nailing down your pricing, how you want to structure your tiered, that you're going to go out there and you're actually going to administer the cost to your customers. So there's flat fees, there's per user, there's per device, there's tiered plans. There's a lot of different ways out that you can kind of slice this, and it's really going to depend on the type of customer that you're talking to. But I will say this, most customers prefer to work off of a monthly model. So I would definitely recommend that be first and foremost in your consideration, but you definitely need to make sure that you have your pricing and your pricing model figured out. And then from there, it really goes into service and demonstrating your work and demonstrating your value. You need to make sure that you are, in anything, right, providing exceptional customer service, but also exceptional service for the product and for that market. And it's key that you're able to demonstrate the work that you perform. So, we talk a lot about cloud, but as a typical end user, you need to show them, because the cloud is this non-tangible idea, right? But you have to actually demonstrate and show them the value of your platform or the value of the service that you're going to be providing to them. And you need to be able to actually show it to them. Maybe you do a live demo of your systems on screen so you can show them, hey, if this thing goes down, here's what we do. We log in here, we look at this, we reset that, maybe we explore a little more over here. And being able to have the customer visualize exactly what it is that you're going to be doing for them and how, at the end of the day, it's quantified into dollars and cents for them is definitely crucial. And the last little piece I think I'll say on this is making sure that you're providing a forward-thinking value for your customers as well. Being able to anticipate what they're going to be looking for next, right? And this is going to come with time. It's going to come with experience. It's going to come with having deployed things into this market where you'll really start to learn and pick up on these things. But anticipate what the customer's next question is. Okay, great. You're managing my network and my wireless via the cloud, and I've never seen you send a truck here. You've always been able to keep us up 100% of the time. Awesome work. What's going to be their next thing? How about our phone systems? Or what about our security systems? So being able to anticipate that and even providing that value by making those recommendations to the customer is going to be hugely beneficial to both current MSPs and VARs that are looking to transform into the space.
Hey everyone, we hope you're enjoying this episode of B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. Let's pause for a moment to recognize our sponsor, DLink Systems. Are network speeds slowing you down or security risks top of mind? Talk with DLink Systems. Leverage award-winning products and deploy networks that are second to none with DLink wireless, surveillance, and switching solutions. Contact Ashley Ruggiero at Ingram Micro today. That's Ashley, ASHLEY.Ruggiero, RUGGERIO at ingrammicro.com. Also, before we jump straight back into today's episode, we wanted to let you know about one of the industry's most important events, Ingram Micro's One 2019 event on November 18th through November 21st at the Gaylord Rockies Convention Center. One is your chance to experience what's new and exciting in security, IoT, cloud, and more. Also, you'll be able to network with other businesses, industry experts, Ingram Micro associates, and our vendor partners. Contact your Ingram Micro representative for details on how to register today. All right, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying, providing value, staying ahead makes a huge difference. And I know you recently stated on a webinar that you did that currently 37,000 plus MSPs are in North America alone. And the MSP market is highly competitive, especially in this cloud service arena. Is there any suggestion that you have for people that are an MSP, how they can stand out from the crowd and do something even better?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that you can provide to help stand out is being flexible. You don't want to sit here and say, this is our model, this is what we do, this is our pricing. And if for whatever reason your customer doesn't fit into that very defined shoebox, you're going to walk away from the business. So being able to be flexible and adapt your business or adapt your pricing model to what the customer's needs are is going to be critical to standing out. And I think also recognizing the fact that your knowledge and your data has value. And I think if you appropriately portray that to the customer, they're going to see that same value as well. And, when deciding on a service provider, most end customers are looking at that type of thing nowadays. They want to look at your past track record and things along those lines, but they also want to have those, like I mentioned before, those forward-looking opportunities, forward-looking statements of what else can we do to make our business better. So definitely not sitting back and being content with the business model that you've set up and always looking for different roads or different paths to market within the vertical that you're working in or within adjacent markets is going to be critical to staying ahead of everyone else in this space.
And the company you work for, DLink, is practicing what you're preaching right now, which is really staying ahead and kind of looking at the next piece of what your customers need. And DLink has a new MSP that just launched on October 1st called the Nucleus platform. Can you tell us more about what makes it unique?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our new Nucleus platform, which is has launched on October 1st. And right now we have, I guess what I would say, two distinct products in there. And one is a cloud wireless solution, and one is a cloud switching solution. And, the cloud wireless solution, I think, really stands out for a lot of the SMBs out there, and SMBs as far as the end customer is concerned. A lot of small, medium businesses are looking to show the value to their customers or add additional benefits to customers that may be visiting their on-site premise or leveraging their services, but they don't have the big budgets that a lot of the other larger, maybe regional or national, let's just say retail chains have, right? They have big IT budgets and teams to manage these types of things, whereas the SMBs don't. And the Nucleus platform enables the partner that's going to be working with these SMBs to be very efficient in responding to that customer's request, whether it be segregating networks and setting up new SSIDs or different things along those lines that are fairly common, but something that a small customer is not going to have maybe the knowledge or the personnel on staff to do. And you can provide that value for them by doing this for them. On the cloud switching side of things, this is a very powerful system for analytics and understanding what's going on the network and figuring out and troubleshooting items on the network. And I think the switch being the core product here can really help people out in identifying what's wrong with other services that maybe are not currently cloud enabled, right? So let's say you have a phone system connected to our Nucleus switching platform or a security camera system connected to it, and the customer's reporting issues with the camera system. Well, you can actually just log into the Nucleus dashboard and go into the identified camera and quite literally click the port on the switch. It'll turn the power off to the camera. Click it again. It'll turn the power back on. And for those of us that have been in the IT world for a long time, I'll go back to my retail days here. Whenever a customer would call in with a problem, the number one thing we would say is, unplug it and plug it back in, right? So the Nucleus cloud switching platform is actually going to allow you to do that for the customer without ever having to actually go on site. So some pretty powerful options for people who are new into the cloud space or working on transforming themselves into an MSP, for future services that they're going to provide.
No, that's great. And that last one you're talking about, you're right, is so common. And it's nice that you're now solving this problem kind of on both ends very easily. That's really wonderful to hear. Where can people learn more about what we talked about today, either transitioning to an MSP or they have questions on it or learn more about this new solution that your company has? Where can they do that and connect with you to ask questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can learn more about the Nucleus platform on DLink.com. So you can actually go on there and just click on our business site link there, and it'll actually take you right into the Nucleus microsite. So you can learn more about our cloud offering. If you want to engage directly with DLink, we actually have a forum right on there that they can click on, and it'll go right to our sales department. You can find me on LinkedIn. It's Matt Vaillancourt on LinkedIn. There's not very many of us out there, so I should be easy to find. And then, I also encourage a lot of people to leverage their peers out there. There are a lot of social networking sites like LinkedIn and Spiceworks and some others where these topics are talked about constantly. And as people are developing best practices and understanding better how to go to market in the cloud, there's a whole community that are sharing their knowledge with each other so that they can help to grow the space as a whole and make each other better in their market. So I would definitely recommend to leverage those as well. And of course, I know Ingram has a great grouping of resources, and we also have our product sales champ, Ashley Ruggiero, inside at Ingram Micro as well, so she can be contacted for support too.
And we asked you last time when you were here where you saw technology going in the next year. But when it comes to cloud technology and MSPs specifically, where do you see it going in the future?
Oh my, yeah. I think really the big game changer here is virtualization in the cloud. A lot of companies, at least the larger ones nowadays, the computer that the employee works at or that the end customer works at is just a shell. The actual guts of the computer and the data and everything else are all stored in the cloud, which makes it easy for them if they need to move workstations or work off premise or anything along those lines. They can go to an exact virtual image of their desktop from pretty much anywhere in the world. Or, all of a sudden you find yourself having a need for more servers or more phone systems or whatever that solution might be. And you can virtually do all of that in the cloud at the end user's end. All you really need is, if it's a phone system, you just need a microphone that you can plug into your computer, right? You don't even actually need a phone these days, a traditional phone, in order to take advantage of those services. So I really see virtualization in the cloud as being one of the next big things. And just little footnote to that too. I think software-defined networking is also going to be big in that space as well. So it's definitely going to be an exciting future for the cloud, and there's tons of great resources and partners out there today that are leveraging it. So I see nothing but good things in the future.
Well, thank you so much, as always, for sharing your knowledge and passion with us today, Matt. And I'm sure we look forward to having you on the show again in the future.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Anytime, guys.
If you like this episode or have a question, join the discussion on Twitter at Ingram TechSoul with the hashtag B2B Tech Talk. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro.
You've been listening to B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro, hosted by Carrie Roberts and sponsored by DLink Technology. B2B Tech Talk is a joint production by Sweetfish Media and Ingram Micro. Ingram Micro production handled by Laura Burton and Christine Fan. To not miss an episode, subscribe today in your favorite podcast platform.